Hey, what's going on, everybody? Gabriel Santos here. And today in this video, you are going to have an opportunity to define and create your vision when it comes to healthy, positive, purposeful marijuana use. Okay, so I know in many of my videos, I'm sharing a lot of my opinion, what works for me, which is ultimately my personal vision for me, for Gabriel Santos. And all of the results and the path I took to get here are a result of my personal vision. Okay. But the reality is that everyone has a different version, a different vision of how they want to use marijuana. Okay. So, a little context here. So, I'm assuming for many of us, when we first started using marijuana, there was no vision, right? And in my own personal experience, I started to use marijuana because I wanted to be accepted by my peers, right? And lo and behold, that's exactly what I got, right? Now, it was more of a unconscious vision, right? But what happens is without a conscious vision to create, walk into, and activate, if you will, we're just kind of going to end up getting what we get, right? We're going to end up being pushed and pulled by our pain pleasure brain cycles. We're going to be pushed and pulled by the influences of our environment, whether that's family, friends, culture, what have you. And so that's why it's critical to create a personal vision in any area of life, but for you specifically, your life when it comes to marijuana. Okay, so a question that you can begin asking yourself right now is, what kind of relationship do I want to have to marijuana? And how do I want to use it to benefit me and benefit those around me? Okay, so you might already have a vision in the back of your mind, but it could be kind of surface level, right? So, for example, one of the common visions I see on Reddit or other forums, or even here in the comment section, is I want to be able to do it on the weekends, or I want to be able to use it, after 5 p.m. after work when all my stuff is done for the day. Okay, and look, if that is the vision that you have for yourself, then good. Then ask yourself, why do I want that? Right. So I'll give you an example for me. I'd say my vision for the longest time, um, stretching back 3, even 4 years ago, was I want to be able to have the same type of relationship to marijuana as the same relationship I have to other type of pleasure outlets like alcohol or junk food or video games, right? And what that means is, for example, with alcohol, I don't have to create such a rigid schedule when it comes to alcohol, right? Like, it's very clear, it's very almost intuitive, right? I don't have to try so hard. I don't have an addictive relationship to alcohol. I don't use alcohol as a coping mechanism. I almost purely use alcohol as a way to bond and celebrate with people that I love, right? Or maybe at times as a reward, but that's really not why I use alcohol, right? And because and so going back to marijuana, I want to be able to use marijuana. I want the same type of vibe, right? Meaning it's not something I have to try so hard with. It's not something I have to spend so much focus and energy maintaining or dealing with, right? It's like I want marijuana to be fourth, fifth, sixth, 37th on the list of things that really consume my energy and time, right? Another one of my visions is, when I do use marijuana, I want to be able to enjoy it fully, guilt free. I want to be able to use it at my leisure, but leisure doesn't mean every day. Leisure meaning I don't have to have such a hard strain on my use, right? Similar to alcohol or similar to junk food. Not to say that, for example, with junk food, for example, when I was like 12 years old, I used to eat pizza rolls all day long. And I noticed that eating pizza rolls in a certain way was causing me to gain weight. And so I had to put my foot down, right? But it wasn't like oh my God, I can't not eat pizza rolls. Like, oh my God, I can't not smoke pot. It's like, oh, when I recognize that this is not serving me, I can easily just put it down, and there's no sense of like, oh God, I gotta stop smoking this much, right? No. So I guess another part of my personal vision is I always want to have a sense of control. I always want to be the one in power, right? I want marijuana to serve me, not me serve it. Okay, so going back to you, really play around with what you want your marijuana dynamic to be. And just as an example, I went from someone who fully identified as addicted, fully identified as dependent, and obviously this took time, dedication, trial and error, but I can currently say with a clear conscience that marijuana is not something that controls my life. And it's something that I allow myself to enjoy in a responsible way. And I'm also clear on, you know, if ever marijuana became an issue, I would do something about it, right? So there's a level of self-esteem, self-confidence, and certainty that I have within myself when it comes to marijuana now, whereas years ago that didn't exist, okay? And so the point is here, when you have a vision, you can then start to tailor your actions to align with that vision, okay? Not to say that you wouldn't have to develop certain traits, not to say that you wouldn't have to go from someone who is flimsy and a pushover to someone who's disciplined and has, boundaries, when it comes to marijuana. But at least you can have an idea of where you want to go, okay? Because what happens is people smoke a lot of weed, they realize that it's not serving them, and then they just out of the blue say, I'm gonna go 30 days not smoking. And not to say that that's something honorable and right for you, but sometimes that's lacking the substance, the depth that you're really looking for, right? It's not just you want to go 30 days weed free. It's you want to create discipline. It's you want to create control in your life. It's that you want to be better, right? So it turns out that the 30-day weed-free goal was actually just a book cover title for all these substantial, meaningful things that you truly wanted, right? So when you can write those things out and flesh them out clearly, then you can be more filled, more aware of what you truly want, right? It's like, oh, it's not, because what happens, guys, is you're on day 12 and all you can think of is how there's 18 days left to get to 30 days weed free, right? But what we lose sight of sometimes is that it's not about getting to 30 days. It's about becoming someone day by day leading up to day 30, right? So for example, on day 12, when you find yourself like, oh my God, I just want to smoke weed, that's actually the moment where you get to grow into that person that you see yourself becoming, right? It's on that day 12 craving when it's like, oh, this is the part where either I choose to be lazy and complacent, or I choose to be focused, dedicated, and aware of my actions. Oh, this is the moment where I choose short-term gratification like always, or I get to step into that version of me that I want to create and choose delayed gratification, right? So then there's more awareness, more consciousness in our journey, not just don't smoke weed. That's not enough sometimes. I know for me that wasn't enough, all right? Anyways, I hope this video was helpful for you. I appreciate those of you who have been watching this on a daily basis. I hope that at this point you're not just watching, right? You're doing, you're applying, and you're actually having a sense of transformation and change in your life. All right, guys. So that's it for today. I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.